President Trump on his second overseas trip for the G20 meeting, and of course the big threat of North Korea is in the background here. Joining us is Congressman Francis Rooney, Republican from Florida and a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Sir, I want to ask, we heard this morning President Trump use the word severe, also confront very strongly. The words are becoming more ominous, of course, from the White House to match, of course, the threat that we're getting from North Korea. So what action are you comfortable with us taking right now?
Well, first, to have any chance of a non-military solution to this mess in North Korea, we're going to have to get China, and I would also like to hope that Russia would engage as a strategic partner with us. You know, they share the geography and the economic ties. If we can't get them engaged and it has to go military, it's going to be a real severe thing. I think what the president said is true. You can't go in and partially take out a missile sites. You got to get them all. You got to get the plants where they're enriching the uranium and anything else they're doing. It would be a very severe and invasive military operation that hopefully China and Russia can help us avoid. And
of course, there's also the unique aspect of all the missiles already aimed at South Korea. Many experts don't think there's any way we can stop all of those if they started to rain down on South Korea.
Oh yeah, that's right. It would have to be so massive to eliminate the prospect of missiles going whatever it is 80 miles or something to take out some of the 25,000 troops we've got over there as well as civilians. You know, it might end up being a question of which civilians get harmed, North or South Koreans.
Having said that, you mentioned China and Russia, who have seemed not only reluctant to go as far as they could to stop this provocation, but yesterday issuing a joint communique condemning America for causing problems with the war games and some of the actions that they've taken. Is that a clear signal that maybe, despite the fact that everyone says they must be involved, that they've drawn a line in the sand?
Well, they have been involved before, successfully during the Bush administration with China, not Russia. And maybe this is a positioning statement that will enable them to actually take some more covert or silent actions diplomatically. I don't know. But I know that we can't solve the problem by ourselves without a very dire remedy.
Sir, I want to shift gears here to Chicago. They won't allow their high school students, they're saying now, you're not going to be able to graduate unless you can prove that you've got a plan for the future. Sir, I know that you're on the Education and Workforce Committee as well. Do you think this strategy is going to work?
Well, I think the mayor's mixing a metaphor here. I mean, it's one thing to encourage career and technical education, encourage students to get a job of all different magnitudes and respect all work. I think this whole movement away from the liberal notion that if you don't go to an elite college, you don't count for anything, and more towards the essential human dignity of work is really good. But that doesn't necessarily mean you ought to withhold their diploma for it.
Well, not only that, though, I mean, do you think Chicago, the school system itself, has prepared these kids? I mean, from what I see with most of these schools in these liberal states and cities, is that these kids are graduating, and the day they graduate, they have zero idea what they're going to do the next day, and they have zero preparation.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty dire statistics about the reading level and the math level of high school graduates in some of the inner cities, and that's a very good point you make. You know, almost any job nowadays, even finishing concrete, which is something that we do in our family businesses, requires literacy and ability to use a flat screen.
Yeah. To your point, the Empire State Federal Reserve Manufacturers Survey last said that they have 87% of the jobs don't need a college degree, and yet there's a giant skills gap out there. Sir, thank you very much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.